Beginning with the scoreboards, a comfortable day out for Pep Guardiola and Manchester City. Ruben Diaz, Josko Vardiol, and Phil Foden dispatched Sunderland comfortably 3-0. In the Netherlands, Feyenoord versus Zwolle. Colin Costin snaps a consolation goal on a day to forget for Pek Zwolle. Ayase Ueda has the match of his life, scoring an unbelievable 4 times. Alongside a Quentin Timber penalty and Kasper Tankstedt's goal, Feyenoord completes a 6-1 drubbing of their opponents. In Italy, Napoli versus Juventus. Man United cast off Rasmus Højlund scores a brace on the Bianconeri, while Kenan Yildiz scores for the visitors as merely a consolation. 2-1 Napoli, the final. And finally in Germany, Dortmund versus Hoffenheim. Nico Schlotterbeck and Julian Brandt find the net for Dortmund as they secure sole possession of third in the Bundesliga by beating Hoffenheim 2-0.
Moving on to the world of hockey, kicking things off in Sweden. Skellefteå got things started less than a minute into this one, but Hove were thundering on Thursday and would take this one 4-3. Goal scorers for Skellefteå were Hug, Elgard, and Lindberg. For Hove, Fransen, Klus, Ong, and Pettersson. In the DEL, the Eagles came to Straubing on a mission, and oh my did they succeed. Goals from Gavanke, Reichel, Schutz, and Michaelis as Mannheim blanked the Tigers 4-0. A postponement in the EIHL brings us to Liga, where there was domination in Finland. JYP got out to a commanding 4-0 lead at the first intermission. 2 goals from Perda, 1 each from Pustinen and Ojatankinen. Kalpa get 2 back from Mainpaa and Kapanen, but Ojatankinen nets 2 more for the hat trick and a 6-2 victory.
That'll take us to the tables as they stand right now. Getting tight at the top in England. 33 points for Arsenal, 31 for Manchester City, with Aston Villa just a victory off of the pace with 30 points on their ledger so far this season. Crystal Palace rounding out the Champions League spots with 26 points in 4th. Chelsea dropping to 5th after a middling run of form. They're on 25 points, just a point behind Crystal Palace. In the Eredivisie, PSV comfortably up front by 6 points still over Feyenoord, Nijmegen, and Ajax jumping into 4th position on 26 points after a decent run of form for them under their new head coach. In Italy, AC Milan in front on goal difference, only just a goal in front of Napoli. Both teams on 31 points at the top of the league. Inter just behind on 30 in 3rd place. They have sole position of that possession. And then Roma rounding out the top 4 on 27 points. Bologna just behind them on 2 points behind with 25. And then in Germany, Bayern comfortably up front. But things start to get a little interesting in those 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place spots. Leverkusen the lowest on 23 with goal difference only giving them the lead over Hoffenheim in that position. Dortmund in 3rd on 28. And then Leipzig in 2nd on 29.
In the SHL, Frölunda now 11 points clear of Skellefteå as the Swedes are in the middle of a 12-day break. In Germany, there's shakeup at the top. Adler Mannheim claiming the top slot 26 games into this season. Köln sit tied for 2nd with former leaders ERC Ingolstadt. In the United Kingdom, Nottingham, Sheffield, and Cardiff the apparent top 3 this year. 3 points separating them, 8 points to number 4. And in the Liga, Tappara have pulled ahead, but it is still very wide open at the top.
Get your calendars out, folks. Here are your games of the week ahead. Chelsea versus Everton this Saturday, December the 13th at 10 a.m. Everton on stellar form coming off a 3-0 win against Forest. Let's see how they do with Chelsea coming off of a Champions League fixture and a frustrating 0-0 draw with Bournemouth. In the Netherlands, Feyenoord versus Ajax Sunday, December the 14th at 8:30 a.m. De Klassieker. Ladies and gentlemen, Ajax under a new head coach coming off the fireworks drama from last week will face a squad that has a player who scored 4 goals in 1 game. Should be quite an emotional clash. In Italy, Como versus Roma, Monday, December the 15th at 2:45 p.m. Eastern. Interesting one this. 4 versus 6. Como in particular coming out of nowhere to be in the mix. A lot of that having to do with the great Cesc Fabregas as their head coach. A scrappy unit battling Roma having fallen a bit off the pace. And then finally in Germany, Leverkusen versus Köln, Saturday, December the 13th at 12:30 p.m. Not many great matches this week in Germany. Here's 4 versus 8 for you. Leverkusen still keeping pace, but have been far from impressive this year against a Cologne team that hasn't won since the beginning of November.
Your games of the week ahead. In the SHL, no games this week. In Germany, Köln host the Adler Sunday at 10:30. You won't want to miss this one. In the EIHL, Fife's chasing that first win when they host Coventry Saturday at 2. In Liga, Asset and Luco go home and home Friday and Saturday, 12:30 and 9 respectively. And finally, in the Champions Hockey League, it's Big Tuesday. Ilves and Luleå, Tuesday at 11:30. Kalpa and Brinas, Tuesday, 11:30. Frölunda Ingolstadt, Tuesday at noon. EV Zug and Luco, Tuesday at 1:45. Lots of action in the Champions Hockey League. You won't want to miss it.
So without further ado, my friends, for the last time in the 2025 season, for the last time in the ground effect era,